the magic tool for making clouds, which is the paper towel. So you will see how I use it to create the clouds with a single color. And the goal is that in less than a minute, you can create a beautiful sky with some clouds that are rather stylized at first. That's roughly the size we're going to use. And here, actually, we take a dry paper towel, crumple it a bit, not completely into a ball, and there, well, we will be able to dab. So you can dab, you can also rub. And you see that we have slightly different effects, but if you dab well, you'll create texture. Extremely stylized with very marked areas. Our first cloud was made very quickly. As you saw, we'll redo it. There we go, like this. So the wash, it shouldn't be too wet. There shouldn't be a big puddle underneath, and it shouldn't be too dry either. So it needs to be, there shouldn't be any puddles underneath, but it shouldn't be too dry. Like these areas here. These areas are a bit too dry, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, since you act very quickly. All right, I'm just picking different areas each time to create these clouds, and then you can adjust them with a little bit of paper towel. And there you go. And so there you get a cloud, which has quite marked edges, but is very convincing. And now we're going to make the other clouds with the same material, but use it in a different way, and you will see that the effect obtained is completely different. So here I am creating my wash. I'm getting some water. There you go. We avoid having a big puddle accumulating under the wash because it means it is a bit too wet. And there, hop, I take a paper towel, and this time I will not dab. I will soak it well. I take a big tip that I completely soak, and here I will be able to press harder or softer. You can test it yourself to create your cloud. There you go, like this. Then you can rub a bit like this. And there you get a cloud that has an effect, but has nothing to do with it, because it was made in wet on wet, as your paper towel is wet. Well, it will create edges that are not as sharp as before. And there, in a few strokes, you saw it's the same. I think in less than a minute we went through it. I'll do it again. Like this. So I really invite you to practice with a more or less soaked paper towel. You can test different things, and the advantage is that no need to draw anything actually. This is pure watercolor, pure manipulation, with a tool that I still use quite regularly. I soak it like that, and then I press. I can create areas that might be a bit more nuanced, so I press more gently. And if I press hard, you'll see that we'll absorb a bit more pigments. I press a bit harder, I take a slightly less explored area. There we go, to create. There, like this. You see, I'm taking another area that's a bit less explored, which I soak a bit less. You can create really nice things by making small circles like this. It can be very nice. So you see, we have got different clouds with different effects. Each time here I cloned, but with the same area. So it created quite a few blue areas. Here I cloned using different areas here. Yes, there's a little too much water, so I will absorb it to avoid having halos forming. There, done. Here too, you see, there are a bit too many pigments, so you can take a piece of paper towel and absorb it to prevent it from creating halos when it dries. And there you go, here too, a small area. There you go, and then you just have to let it dry to see the result. But you can already see that just with the same tools, you can achieve completely different results. And that's what is really interesting in this exercise. It's that you can test behaviors in the wet technique with very few things. Just a paper towel to create edges a bit more defined, edges a bit less defined. Here smoother transitions, here less smooth transitions. Here with very pronounced edges, and you're going to have very different styles. This way, you can see what you lean towards the most and what you like the most.